Checking emails, checking emails. Bullshit. Yo, Revelations. What Bible prophecies, bro? This dude still sweat out his prophecies. Bro, I went to work today. There's nothing changed for me, yo. Everything is still the fucking same, yo. This is a bunch of weird ass fucking hype, dude. Talking about repent.
And the date is the 16th of February 2010. And this is
What's
Bill Ryan
the
from
date?
Project Camelot and Project Avalon. And the date is the 16th of February 2010. And this
All right.
is
The 16th of February 2010.
retaliate after Iran is struck with a nuclear weapon. At that point, there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, followed by a ceasefire. He heard this being planned in this meeting. This is being choreographed. It's like the script for a movie. This is exactly what's intended to happen. And during this time, the other thing that's being set up for this, and many people watching this will be aware that this is being set up in the background. We've had a lot of information about this from a number of good researchers from many countries who are reporting this on the internet, that things are being set up in many of the Western countries for there to be heavy controls over populations, martial law, increased powers on security forces who are not just the army or the police, but in Britain, for example, our source said that he absolutely knew personally for a fact that a very large number of private security people, their powers were being...
This dude is already saying this shit 10 years ago. It's not a Bible prophecy. It's understanding how the elite work and what the agenda of the elite ruling class is. Nothing about Bible prophecy at all, bro. Let me put it on the big speaker. Because you weren't in here to hear this the other day.
This is a bit of an unusual video. Martial law, increased powers on... there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East. Is racially targeted against the... Everyone's really terrified about where this is going to go. There are all kinds of heavy controls over populations everywhere. And then the next thing that happens in this chess game that's being played is that biological weapons are released on China. He heard this being discussed in this meeting. They will release a flu-like virus that will be genetically targeted against the Chinese population. Is racially targeted against the Chinese people. It's designed to spread like wildfire and to knock out a large number of the Chinese people. And these people in this meeting were laughing about this. They said, China will catch a cold. Those were their words. China will catch a cold. And they were laughing about the fact that these biological weapons will wreak havoc among the Chinese population. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. Our source was not clear whether this was a Chinese retaliation or whether the thing would just spread out of control in the way that it would be very understandable if it did. Whether it's racially targeted or not, these things actually mutate. So now you've got a situation where there's been a limited nuclear war in the Middle East. There's a pandemic that really is sweeping across the world and really is killing people very visibly. And you've got this totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western world because everyone's going to be in panic about all of this. And then, he said, then the real war starts. Something that would be justifiably called the Third World War with a much more major nuke.
Nothing from a fucking Bible, bro. This is all elite military industrial complex planned out agendas. They set agendas for 50, 100 years. It has nothing to do with Bible prophecies, bro. Like I say, it's not breaking news at all. It's this. He said he was making that interview right there 10 years ago. It's not breaking news. And then, so 10 years ago, they had these plans drawn up. How many years before that were they actually writing up these plans and organized things before they had that specific meeting to talk about what point they were at right then and how they're going to further push their agenda forward and do certain things to make this happen? Not some weird Bible prophecy, God said this was gonna... Man, this is humankind making this shit happen, yo. Mankind, the elite are really gearing up to do their push for this whole New World Order shit. This isn't the rapture and the world isn't gonna fucking end and all this crazy bullshit, bro. There's a difference, man. There's a difference, dude. It's cool you believe that shit, though. It's weird, but that's cool too.
Biblical prophecy, and so you're on with Matt and Tracy. What do you got?
Hi, it's really awesome to be on and talking to you guys.
It's awesome to have
really
you.
Cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, I was downtown getting coffee today, and as I left,
because we are the only people that can take credit for anything, bro. I mean, you give man way too much credit. For what? for creating the technology that you're utilizing right now to talk to me. That's way too much credit. Mankind does everything, bro. The God concept has nothing to do with our physical reality at all. At all. If God exists outside of space and time, why does he care about anything that happens within space and time? At a particular point in time, what does he give a fuck? Why? And you're going to tell me an answer because you know the mind of God by reading a book. And that helps you understand the mind of the most perfect being. All of it is fallacious and it doesn't make any sense. You can't understand the mind of a perfect being because we have no perfect being to examine. You can't prove that there is a prime mover. And giving mankind way too much credit for what? We are the apex of the animal kingdom as far as intelligence goes. I give mankind all the credit. Yes. And for the simple fact that there are groups, organizations, and roundtables that actually plan these events out. All of these, all wars, all rumors of wars, all famines. Do you think people starve to death because there is no way to help them? Nothing has to be the way it is. And if God really does answer prayers, then why do millions of people die from starvation each year praying to God to save them and just give them food? You know why? Because there are systems and structures that are set up where certain men reap all the benefits and rewards and certain men get the latter end of the stick. And that's just how the world operates because it's structured by men. And if God really ruled over this world, why is there so much evil and corruption and sickness and pain and hurt and hardship? If God is just this all-loving father figure. Why does a perfect being need to create? The simplest question. And you're answered again because you know the mind of God. Or you think you know the mind of God. Doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. A perfect being that exists outside of time and space has to create something. And then create something that's imperfect. And then make imperfect beings that he feels should worship him. If you're perfect, why do you need to be worshipped?
Started heading home, these three people on the street stopped me, and one of them was like, hey, do you have a minute to talk? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, I just want to first off ask if you're like believer or non-believer, whatever. And so I told them I'm an atheist. So we basically did like a Bible study, and he wants to prove that the Bible is true. And so we went to a coffee shop and talked about it. And so we brought up some really weird things. Like I was trying to get them away from being like super preaching the gospel, which I don't think you wanted to do, but it was kind of like definitely going there. I don't need that. Brought up like stuff, a lot of stuff about like there are prophecies in the Bible.
After reading the Bible, the questions still stand, bro. And you can't answer the questions because you go on faith. You don't know. You don't know the answers either. I don't know. And you don't know the answers neither, but you'll take it on faith. You just have to believe. You just have to believe. Like I say, once an amputee grows a limb back because they prayed to God, then, I mean, that's some hardcore solid proof. His leg was chopped off, all the way off, no leg. He prayed to God for his leg to grow back, and it grew back. I would believe. But shit like that don't happen. Because prayer don't work because God ain't real. Prayer don't work because God ain't real. But you know the mind of God because you got faith that you can interpret the scriptures the right way, other than what religions that use the same book that you use and interpret that shit a different way. But you got it right. You definitely got it right. None of the other religions that you don't subscribe to, they don't have it right. But you got the right answers.
That get fulfilled.
Sure.
And that's how I know, and that's why I believe.
Sure, okay.
It's kind of like...
I often say that biblical prophecy is like the weakest of apologetics.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Because it was like, how do you get to this? And he's like, I believe in the Bible because the Bible is true and the Bible says it's true. And I'm like, right, but how do you know that the Bible is true?
Right, and he's saying because it makes these weird predictions and only, I guess only a God would know or something. So here's the first problem. The first problem is, even if it did make weird predictions that happened that were like, incredibly impressive, you still wouldn't know how the mechanism worked until you could demonstrate that, right? So even if you were doing it, the idea that this is a message from a God, it has not been demonstrated through that. It's, clearly there's something going on, but what? But here's the problem.
That happens.
When they lay a prophecy on you, the best thing to do, because there are so many different things that people call prophecy, so the best thing to do is to say, lay your best prophecy, your most impressive prophecy on me. Let them lay their...
You laid a few on,
Yeah.
You could talk about...
You don't even need to talk about them. Go to Google them, right? Like, go to Wikipedia and look up those Bible books.
Google them and, like...
Yeah.
I like a quick Google search was like a lot of like answers in Genesis and like JW.
Right. So if you go to Wikipedia and you look up that book of the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. It'll have an explanation of the book, of its history, of and almost. First of all, if the prophecy is clear, right? So let's say that there are some that seem pretty clear, right? Some of them are very vague and interpretive, but some are very clear. And when you look at the ones that are most clear, in my experience, when you go to Wikipedia and you just look at the history and the background of the text, what you'll find is that the text that is the most impressive has been altered at a later date after the events. And all you have to, so I would say the best response for you would be to go to Wikipedia and just look up that Bible book, and then look up just sort of read up on the history of that book. When was it written? When were the alterations made? How many authors did it have? Which books did he pull? Or which book
That's
did he...
That's a really good point. He did one about Book of Job. He did one...
Job is really weird that he picked that, because Job is like
you want to know what he says about
Job is like a
well, it wasn't quite prophecy there. He was talking about the Book of Job proves the water cycle, and then he shows you the quote.
Is he saying that it describes like evaporation and condensation? I mean,
so what Job says in the book
precipitation.
Is like, God draws the water up from the streams and the rivers, and then the water pours forth from the clouds as rain.
Which is something that we all understand.
That's something you can observe, and I was like, no, that's not... I was trying to be really patient, but I'm like, that is something that a child can observe.
Yeah, it's like saying it explains, the whole concept of biological conception by saying that if you put a male goat in a stock pen full of females, a lot of them end up pregnant. And how could the Bible know this? Right?
You get baby goats.
Yeah.
do you think that this is really useful? He went into, I don't know what book it was from, but he mentioned that the Bible prophesized King Cyrus and the fall of Babylon.
Yeah, let's find
and I don't know anything about Babylon.
Yeah, did he give you a book?
But it was like, I don't know which book it was, but it was something. It was like, it mentioned Cyrus by name, therefore Bible true, and therefore God.
Sure, that's what he's going to try to say, but it doesn't get you to God. Yeah. It gets you, even if it were true, it gets you to a weird prophecy. But let's see, the fall of Babylon is written there.
Now that you've made that point, the fact that it mentions Cyrus by name,
yeah.
If Cyrus was a historical figure, that was probably inserted after the fact.
If you can find the book, and which I'm trying to help you out with here right now.
And that's the only thing about the New Testament that people don't understand. It's not like all this shit was written down at one time. Most of the books in the New Testament are fucking hundreds of years after the fucking Old Testament was already written. So if you got one text that you can already read the whole entirety of the text, you can write a addendum that mirrors the first text and makes everything mesh together because you already have the first text to read through and examine and make the second text say exactly what you want it to say. And then you have another century of editing and alterations to get it even more concise, so that these prophecies seem like they were fulfilled, and that there are still prophecies to be fulfilled. Motherfuckers, I swear, yo, Bible prophecies are fucking weird, and none of them have come true. And this isn't a Bible prophecy coming true because of a virus or a plague, and rumors of war. Man, they've been war since war was war. When has there ever been a time where there is no war going across this world? Well, there probably was. I can just imagine what the first original humans were like, yo. I can't imagine them being warlike people. But once the races started to differentiate, and then it became a clash for territories and shit like that, there's always been war, and there's always been rumors of war. This dude act like we done went 1,000 years without any wars, and all of a sudden there's a rumor of war. It's a rumor of war. We're at war right now. Literally at war. We never stopped occupying Iraq and Afghanistan. Like I say, the religious people, y'all read so far into everything. The world was supposed to end. How many preacher prophets done predicted the end of the world already? Fucking over 300-400 times throughout history since the Bible days. Motherfuckers has been predicting the end of the world. That shit still ain't happened yet. You probably already predicted end of the world, or you already heard a world-ending scenario in your lifetime and really thought it was going to happen, but then it didn't. And now this is the one. This is the big one. But then it'll be the next time. I bet you said that shit during, like, I don't know how old you are, but during 9/11, motherfuckers said the same shit and said that Obama was the Antichrist, and motherfuckers was really believing that shit, yo. Really believing it, like, it's the Antichrist, and this is the end, the Nation of Islam, and all this shit, yo. And it's like, and all these Bible prophecies was right then, wasn't it? And there was rumors of war. Fucking 10 years ago, we went into Iraq. Wars and rumors of wars and destruction from fire and Antichrist and all this. And then what? Nothing. Nothing. But now this is the real one this time. For real. No, y'all religious people, y'all so fucking gullible. I swear, man. Every time any major crisis, it's the end of the world. This is the Bible prophecy. Y'all kill me with that shit.
Isaiah and the book of Daniel both mention it. I'm going to say I'll probably go with Isaiah.
Ezra, too.
Yeah.
With Ezra with Nebuchadnezzar, because he mentioned Nebuchadnezzar, too.
So getting back to the water cycle, because I just checked, the first scientific description of the water cycle was around 1500 CE, but there's an acknowledgement that Hebrew scholars had some understanding of the water cycle back when.
Yeah, but a child has understanding of the water cycle.
No, don't do that. A child now has an understanding of water cycle because they're raised in a society that has that understanding. And so we inadvertently make inferences from what people around us appear to know and everything else, even before we're strictly taught. At some point, people did not understand the water cycle. And the observation that led to that was that the rivers...
The Bible say Jesus... The Bible say Jesus ain't had no kids. Or they never speak of him having children. Why? Because he was supposed to be a perfect example of man. You know, God in the flesh. Which is weird because God had to touch Mary in order to produce Jesus so he can dwell in Jesus. But then Jesus was supposed to be so pure that he never succumbed to the lust of the flesh and never was with a woman. But that's the whole point for God making a mate for man to procreate. But it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus was supposed to be so pure, he ain't even got no pussy. That's how pure he was. And then he died and all this shit, whatever. Holy blood, holy grail, this shit say otherwise. This shit say that Jesus did have a kid with Mary Magdalene. And that there was a lineage that came down to the Merovingians in France. But you don't want to read that part though. Because your story, everybody got a different story from the same character. Everybody got different stories from the same character. The Christians got a story of Jesus. These people got a story of Jesus. The Muslims got a story of Jesus. And everybody got different end of the world scenarios. The Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world in 2012. That shit ain't happening. Yo, Dice, what up?
See, and yet the
How
sea
can I
never
be
seems to
finished,
get
bro?
any more
This
full.
my stream.
And so the natural conclusion is then that water must go somewhere. And because water also falls from clouds, then the natural inference is that, well, somehow or another the water gets up to the clouds. The thing that the Hebrew Bible and Job gets wrong is that there's no evidence that God maketh the drops to go up to the clouds. The evidence is that this is what happens, and we may not know why.
Right.
And then, of course, we learn about evaporation by having a kiddie pool in the backyard.
Right.
That we have
well, you can see evaporation even on, like, you spill a drink and it dries up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it went away.
I mentioned that to him. I was like, well, it doesn't even say the sun in that verse. It says God. And if one person says God made the water dry up and another says that the sun made the water dry up, then who's right?
Oh, that God.
Every 36,000 years. 36,000 years? Was it Baktun? Yeah. So, yeah, the Mayan calendar basically was kind of how they do the zodiac now, where the main constellations in the sky shift. We're in the age of Aquarius, so it takes so long to move from Aquarius to Pisces and back around, and the Mayan calendar basically had a similar cycle 36,000 years, and then things would kind of reset and start over again. You gotta know a little bit about everything, Dice. Just know a little bit about everything. Unlike what is face? All this motherfucker know is the Bible. All that motherfucker know is the Bible. No nothing else. Revelations. You'll be as educated as we are. That's all it is, bro. It ain't nothing but knowledge. If you know something, it don't hurt you to know shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt you to know other things, dude. And that's the only thing that would get me about uber religious people. They won't study nothing else. Not even the historicity of the Bible. How did it come to be? Who wrote this shit? I want to break it all the way down to the basic fundamental. Who wrote this shit? When they write it. And then what happened? It was edited. Why? Why they edited it? Shit, you don't give a fuck about none of that. You take this final revised version and then find all these prophecies and all this shit on how to conduct your life and morality, and the book is just weird. It's so weird. And then once again, motherfuckers just hate the Old Testament. I love the Old Testament. That's where all the good shit, all the blood, sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, burning flesh at the altars, all that, that's where the good shit, all the killing, the murdering, the rape, the slavery, all that shit. They don't like that Old Testament, boy. That shit was harsh. That shit was rough. You know, some rough days, man. God wasn't playing that. God would smite the shit out you. Fuck around, do something, he'll smite you. They like, no, we just rather fuck with Jesus. You know, Jesus was the ultimate blood sacrifice. Why does God need, what's up with blood, man? All this blood magic. You gotta bleed. You gotta be nailed to a fucking cross. Nailed. And like the blood of Jesus. And then they pray, oh, let the blood of Jesus wash over me. What the fuck is this blood magic? That ain't pagan? And then you go to communion and you eat a cracker and you drink some wine and you say it's the flesh of Christ and the blood of Christ. Drinking blood, all this blood magic, man, that shit is that's weird, bro. That shit is weird. I don't want to even pretend I'm eating a person. I don't want to eat the flesh of Christ. I don't want his blood to wash over me. What the fuck is this shit, man? Heavenly deadbeat father. Motherfucker sent his only begotten son. And everybody else say they sons and daughters of Christ. And God, you not. Because God only had one child. All y'all stepkids. Y'all ain't nothing but stepchildren. God had one, his only begotten son. So what the fuck are you? You're not a child of Christ. You're not. That was funny. He didn't want to throw out the laughing emoji because he was laughing a little bit. Hunky Dory. That's a cool name, man. A creator. Once upon a time, I went through the whole phase of like trying to figure this shit out. Even like an infinite consciousness that kind of connects all consciousness. Consciousness is that one thing that we can't get it, yo. We don't know what the fuck this shit is. I am aware that I am aware of myself. That shit is awesome. How does it work? We don't fucking know. So like a supreme consciousness, a prime mover, I don't know, man. I started listening to more like astrophysicists and stuff, man. These motherfuckers just say, yo, we don't know. That's it. We don't know. There's so many theories of what they call the cosmos. People think like the universe is everything, but no, actually the universe is in the cosmos. And whatever caused the cosmos, you can say that shit, the same thing what you say about God is the cosmos. It just always was. There's always been this substrate that exists. Is it conscious? No. Shit just happens in it. And sometimes it creates universes. And universes collapse. And sometimes Big Bangs happen and creates other universes. And they bounce against each other and make other shit. Who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? But is there like some aware agent, some active agent that is itself conscious and aware that says, let it be? I don't think so. I really don't. And that's it. Is I think, therefore I am. So, I mean, and that's the whole thing. There is no meaning. Like what? There is no meaning for the cosmos, the universe, our galaxy, our solar system. The shit is just. It just exists. There's no reason for it. It just exists. We just exist. Now, we can place intrinsic value on our own existence and give ourselves a reason to exist. Like my art. I went $7,000 for it. Why? Because that's the value that I place on it. And we all have things that we value. And we value our own lives. And so we can make our existence meaningful by doing things that we find meaningful. So that's what the meaning of life is to live this shit. And find your own reason for living. Because it's finite. We're not going to be here forever. And so the time that your consciousness is aware that it is aware, make the best of it. There's a design to everything. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Nature does its thing. You know, things act naturally. Now, once again, the way that the human mind operates, we like to see, we seek patterns and structures, and that's just how we like to organize the world, because it makes more sense to our fucking brain if things are arranged in patterns. So we try to seek things, and you know, even some things about nature, it may look like it's designed, but it's just the way this is. That's just how it is, you know. Like trees grow like trees because that's just how they do it. There's no real design to it. Yeah. And that's the major thing right there is the unknown, fear of the unknown. And it is hard and scary for people to say I don't know. Especially about the big questions. Where did we come from? I don't know. What happens when you die? You die. That's it. It's like when you're dead, you're dead. You know? That's all we can ever come to any kind of conclusion. Never had anybody like Jesus, you know, literally pronounced fucking dead. brain dead, physically dead, no pulse, no breath, no heartbeat for 3 whole days, and then come back and tell us what happened. But we got this old story in the Bible that says, one person did it one time, a long time ago. But he was the son of God, so he was special. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, death is death, and death is permanent. It is absolutely permanent. So and the only thing is, like, the whole concept of nothing. Like, it is hard. It is really hard to conceptualize nothing because we compare everything to something. So how can you have nothing to examine at all? And how can you know that nothing can produce something? How can something come from nothing? And what is nothing? What does nothing? What are the aspects of nothing? So once again, there may have always been some type of substrate, some type of, who knows? Who knows? Even nothing needs an origin.
The Son is God. But it doesn't matter. God made the sun, and it's the sun's job. It was God's intent to have a water cycle. That's the thing. When people think they find something amazing, scientific within a book, they're also cherry picking because bats aren't, and go through all the list of other things. You're not going to genetically change sheep by smacking them with reeds in order to create spotted sheep and other stuff like that. So they're throwing out all the things that got wrong and then looking at something got right. Nobody does this more often than Muslims with regard to the Quran, talking about things like, it describes a fetus as looking like chewed gum, kind of thing. Yeah. And you know why that happened? Because people had miscarriages, and because people lived on farms where animals were constantly getting pregnant and having miscarriages, or somebody cracked open an egg and it had a fetus in it of various types. This knowledge has been around, just not formulated and put together into a scientific theory where we're support with a bunch of evidence. But
you're so wrong again, bro. Who has it all figured out when I sit here constantly and say I don't know? That's not having anything figured out. I pretty much figured out that religion and Bible stories aren't the way to go. Those are definitely not the way to go. Now what the true answers are, we don't know. It ain't coming from the Bible though. This motherfucker thinking 2,000 years we're no more smarter now, right? In 2,000 years since these desert dwelling sheep herders were creating this evil god to use so that they can rule over people. We're no smarter than that, right? So we should just go all the way back to how these people were living. Once again, making burnt offerings and sacrifices and all this shit, right? Because that's how the Bible says it. Oh, but you gotta interpret it this way, and you can't, we don't do it like that no more because that was the old way, and now we got the new covenant, and God changed things, and now the Jesus Christ came, and all this stuff, and like, you gotta rationalize it so bad with yourself just to believe this shit. You can't take the whole book wholeheartedly because you know it don't make no damn sense. You gotta pick and choose and cherry pick which verses sound good and which verses you'll go with and what shit don't sound good because it absolutely don't make no sense. So we don't ever preach sermons on this part.
We'll meet again. Good. Thanks for waiting. You had a question or a comment?
I do. I was going to ask, okay, so you know how they talk about biblical clues? In a way, like they say, like, oh, the end times are coming?
Sure. Like they say that forever.
I know.
Yeah.
But I was just curious because, say a certain biblical, maybe say one single prophecy were to come true, correct? Would that mean that the entire Bible was true? Does that mean that you should accept everything it says because it makes one prediction?
Nope.
No?
But if one of them is false, then maybe the whole thing is suspect. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's say there's 10 things in there, and we know that one of them's right and one of them's wrong, and the other 8 we don't know about. The answer is we don't know.
All right. Because there's also, have y'all heard about the guy that was making these little like chips? I think his name was Paul Napoli or whatever his name was.
Chips.
Have y'all seen on you have?
I don't know what you mean, chips.
Oh, it's like a little he's like making a little $23 stock, and it's like smaller than a dime, and it says it's going to change, like, you know, it's helping with finances, and I often sometimes hear that that's like the mark of the beast or something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's on the news. I don't know if you get the same news as we do, but his name is Paul Napoli. I should have wrote his name down because I done forgot.
Okay.
But
it's a computer chip?
Not a computer. I don't know what
Potato chip?
Potato chip?
What kind of chip?
Yeah, we're just not understanding.
It's like a little tiny computer chip. You could fit 100 of them in a dime.
Okay.
Like
That's not that small, but okay.
It's like an RFID tag you stick under your skin or something and get messages from God.
No, because it honestly hasn't given me much detail on it. It doesn't even tell me what category it falls in.
Okay.
But I know it's just. I would just look it up real quick, but I don't want to keep y'all whole.
Yeah, that's all right. We can move on. I don't know anything about it, but there's been lots of people talking about end times and marks of the beast and all this other stuff. And I remember growing up how a one world government was, the thing to be afraid of. Personally, I have no problem with it. I don't see how it's any different from a one nation government or a one state government or a one city government. A government's a government. And you could set one up that has proper checks and balances, where it's a participatory system like the one we're in, and a one world, one universe government would be perfectly fine with me as long as it's done right. And it doesn't matter if you've got 5 universe governments, if they're all done wrong, that's a problem. So it's just bizarre. It is a lot of fear mongering, and it's based on ideas that Satan's going to take over this world, and there'll be trials and tribulations, and so people see evidence for the end time all the time. I mean, there's entire websites devoted to tracking all the failed predictions about when the world's going to end.
Like, now, do you think the people that try to make these predictions genuinely believe it, or do you think they just do it to try to scare people into, kind of like waving a carrot in their face and saying?
I think there's a mix. I think there's some people who will make doomsday predictions in order to wield power and have followers, and I think there are others who sincerely believe it.
Right. We were talking evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned.
Well, yeah, I said those 2 words.
And so I was thinking, evolution is a fact, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't that mean that Adam and Eve never existed, meaning that there was never a fall, meaning that there would be no need for an end times anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
No need for Jesus either.
I know.
You've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly why Christians are so terrified of evolution.
Right, because they know that if they don't have, it's almost like a sense, like I heard Dawkins say that a lot of people in the God delusion, a lot of them say that, they talk about just different things, and they often suffer from a lot of delusions at times. And I heard one, and he said, what did he say? He said if one person suffers from delusion, it's called insanity. If many people suffer from it, it's called religion.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah, in the pamphlet here on evolution and Christianity, there's a little Q&A, and one of the questions is, can a Christian believe in both the Bible and evolution? And the answer, according to this pamphlet, is only by compromising the Word of God.
I've been studying that just because I know it's like people often try to mix the two, and they say, okay, well, I get, because do y'all know Kenneth Miller, who works at Brown University?
Yeah.
He says he's never seen conflict between the two.
Yeah.
And I'm only thinking, but there'd have to be some sort of conflict just for the whole creation story.
Well, keep in mind that there's probably as many different Christianities as there are people claiming to be Christian, right? There's lots of variation, lots of different spins and interpretation, and there really isn't sort of some objective thing out there. I mean, the Bible is somewhat objective, although there's different versions of it.
Right.
But you look at how folks read it and what they read into it, and it's like a Rorschach test. They're reading in all sorts of stuff that isn't there, because most of the Bible is just wisps of stories that you have to add a lot of interpretation to get them to even make sense. And everybody does it different.
Right. I heard one inconsistent thing. This guy said. He said the Bible is in totally chronological order. It's in perfect order. But then the next minute I said, hey, in Deuteronomy, Moses died, but yet still managed to write 4 books in the Bible.
There you go.
And then the person said, oh, well, the Bible's not in total chronological order. Which is it, man?
That was a part that I noticed early on in the Bible. Moses gives his own death account and then continues to write. How do you write your own death in the goddamn book and you still writing after you dead? I don't know.
Make up your mind.
So, there's actually no problem there either way, but that's kind of pointless to get into.
I have found that if you're arguing the Bible, you've ceded probably way too much ground, and you should argue, why do you even think that the Bible has anything to tell us?
I know. I tell you, you try to talk religion with someone, it's like, I heard Aron-Ra. Do y'all know who that is? Aron-Ra?
I think you mean Aaron Ra.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah, he actually performed my wedding, and I toured with him for years, so I'm pretty sure I'm right that it's Aaron Ra.
Oh, because he was talking about when you're arguing with creationists, he said they always tend to get a glaze in their eyes, like they just kind of glaze over, and you're just talking into an empty shell, but it always seems like they can always remember the last sentence, and they can then say, no, not true.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We've got a bunch of callers waiting. I thank you for hanging out with us for a while, McKinley, and we'll see how today goes.
All right. Do I just press end call with that?
Or we can hang up on you.
You can do that. I can do that. I'm going to do it either way. I promise. But thanks. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I opened a SoFi Money account, and it was the first.
Check it out.
Sweet. Where you got anybody in particular that you saw on the line we should go to next?
Danny.
Annie. Danny in London, how are you?
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Sarah, thank you for having me back.
Absolutely.
You can hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in London on Friday.
I heard. I thought you were in Cambridge at some point.
I will be. I'm arriving. I haven't looked at the flights. I'll be arriving and checking into a hotel on the edge of London, and then I think I'm going to be doing Justin Brierley's podcast that day.
Okay.
And then the next day, the 14th, is Cambridge.
Ah.
But I will be in and around London for at least a few hours and the first night.
Okay. Are you? Is it like you're doing a speaking event on the Saturday? Is it like in the evening or something?
The Cambridge Skeptic Society's 10th anniversary event. I think it is a number of speakers over the course of the day, if I'm recalling it correctly. I really should know since this was my last show before I leave. But anyway, what have you got for us, Danny?
Well, I was a big. I kind of still am a fan of the show because I do admire skepticism, and I was a big anti-theist for many years up until about a year ago, and I'm now a believing person.
Well, what convinced you? I mean, because as a skeptic, my view is that I'm happy to change my mind once there's good reason for it.
Yes. Yeah. For me, it's the connection between a few different things. I want to be honourable to the person I spoke to on the phone and stick to the thing I said I was going to speak to, unless I had your permission to kind of waffle about. But I think I waffled last time I called in, and me and Don ended up getting down a rabbit hole on one little element of the claim that the God of Abraham makes. And the thing that sticks out to me that makes it extraordinary is the connection between the claims and the way that the claims interact with each other. So, for example, the world will bless themselves by your forefathers, and therefore they will know, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. But they're going to despise, they're not going to join you, which you think they will, because, Matthew is technically a Jewish name, and
why would you think they would?
God. Well, think about, because you're going to be blessed. I'm God. I'm going to bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. So if you're a 15th
right, but we're talking about. We're talking. Forgive me for a second. So look at, let's say, I'm assuming that you don't think the Earth is flat.
Definitely not.
Okay. Would you at least acknowledge that the flat earthers are having conferences? There's more and more people involved, and that they will say things like, look at them mocking us, they're not going to join us, and then they tie that as if the reason that they're being mocked is because of a conspiracy. If you were going to try to convince people to adhere to something, and you knew that this was going to be something that people would deride, then it seems that one prophylactic to alleviate that suspicion, this is how cons work, is to say, hey, people are going to, mock you for this belief, and they're not going to agree with you, but that just shows that you're sincere and that you're doing it right.
I hear you. Yet this actually happens in the opposite, in the sense that they will bless themselves through your forefathers. It's like the flat earthers saying the world will bless themselves through our work, and our God says, I will curse those who curse you and bless those who bless you. And imagine being an early Gentile recipient of the Jewish texts, right, in certain parts of Europe. And you're kind of thinking, if you're going to leave your pagan world, unless you really like your bacon, you're probably going to go, well, actually, yeah, I kind of want to be at the core of that. Because you're my treasure, and so it's kind of different in that respect. But you're going to remain few in number, and they'll despise and persecute you.
But there are people
contradictory.
There are people flocking to the Flat Earth movement. There are probably, based on some statistics I recently saw, probably more people who question whether the Earth is round or believe that the Earth is flat than there are open atheists that use the atheist label. So it's, you have an idea.
I think that's a bit of a straw man, and I don't want to just use that term because the people that are flocking to
it's not a straw man
movement.
It's not a straw man. If you're so here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Flat Earth, Jesus, Yahweh, whatever. Here's an idea.
Stick to your example.
Well, what I'm saying is, here's an idea. Some people are going to convert to it, and that's what's happened with Christianity. It went from a few like 10 or 8 apostles running around to the largest, or perhaps second largest, depending on how you're going to measure it, religion on the planet.
Abrahamic monotheism is is 50% of the. I guess even though the babies are included in that, right?
Well, I would argue that a good chunk of the Abrahamic religions aren't in fact monotheism. I don't think Judaism is monotheistic. But
okay, well,
that's an argument about what to call it. What I'm saying is, here's an idea. It grows really quickly. It expands. There are people who come in there. It just makes sense that we're not ever going to be in a position where everybody's going to accept a thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't even accept the fact that we've been to the moon or anything like that. So it's not surprising to say, hey, people are going to mock you for this. And then when they get mocked...
It's not the same, Matt. Sorry.
Hang on.
Matt,
No.
Really,
Let me fucking finish. It's not surprising that people are going to say, hey, people are going to mock you for this. And when the mocking happens, people will take that as affirmation of a prediction when there's no evidence that this was a prediction made that came true in any remarkable sense. So if there's nothing remarkable about it, I don't know why you would use this as if it were something remarkable.
Because they're the same people. The people who are following it are the people who are not mocking it, but persecuting them. It's the same people. The people will follow your God, and they will despise and persecute you. I do believe that your example isn't actually applicable.
First of all, I don't know. I need you to explain that a little bit more, but I don't see how that's a rebuttal at all.
You're making the statement that some people will ahead of time say, hey, I have this idea, and to make it easier on ourselves and our in-group, hey, there are going to be people who mock us. Right? It's like a kind of a political thing. They're going to be, we're on the in-group, they're going to be people on the out-group, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying. But that Moses, or in fact, it's claimed to be the God of Abraham himself, so it hinges even more, actually says, the world will bless them. They will follow your God. They will follow they will follow it. They will bless themselves by your forefathers. But they will persecute you. It's the same people. It's as if to say the Flat Earth Society says, loads of people the world will come to believe in you,
right?
Which isn't true because they're not actually saying.
Well, it's growing. The world hasn't come to believe anything.
The family, I'm sure you agree. It's okay to make a hyperbole.
Sure, but also you're ignoring. You are selectively ignoring and dismissing the fact that this is also unremarkable. There are thousands of denominations of Christianity. There are constant infighting.
The God of Abraham. It's the same God. It's the God of Abraham. It's the God of Abraham.
So fucking what? That doesn't matter. It's talking.
It is.
It doesn't.
It is because
it doesn't. No.
Connor, why do you think it matters so much?
Well, because he's saying to Abraham, the families of the earth will bless themselves by you.
Yeah.
And then he's saying this to their children, to their offspring. Those same people.
Yes.
So the people that are.
This is not remarkable, Danny.
Yeah.
If you'd let me finish.
Will then persecute you.
If you'd let me finish, this is not remarkable. This is not.
The opposite of what you're saying is that people join.
It's not the opposite. Shut up for a second.
Danny, do you want to learn anything and have a conversation, or do you want to just talk?
Go ahead.
Okay.
How is it remarkable that a bunch of people who would believe in the same God would disagree on specifics about that God?
We're the most persecuted people over thousands of years. And
that is not remotely a fucking answer to my question. How is it remarkable? No, I swear, Danny, I'm about to hang up. How is it remarkable that people who believe in the same God would also disagree about specifics of that God? This is human nature. We see this happen all the time. It's the reason there are Hindu sects. It's the reason there are Buddhist sects. It's the reason there are Judaic sects. It's the reason there are Christian sects. It doesn't matter that you can lump them into a group and say, well, you're all appealing to the same God. Yes, of course it's normal for them to disagree on things when the God they believe in has not engaged with them and made it clear as to what it is they're supposed to believe.
Is disagreeing the same as by being persecuted?
Yes. If there's a power base, let me finish. If I am convinced that my understanding of God is correct and Jenna's understanding of God is incorrect, and her understanding of God will lead to the damnation and ruination of the planet or the Jewish people or whatever it is, then yes, it absolutely makes sense that I would oppose her and persecute her because she is perverting what God really is. This is wholly unremarkable. This is the history of religion.
Can I answer? In this scenario, the claim is being made that you will believe that God will bless those who bless her.
What?
You're being...
What I believe is irrelevant. Can you demonstrate that there is a God who has ever blessed or ever persecuted, or a God who has blessed or cursed anyone, ever?
Well, in terms of seeing a hand coming out of the sky, it sounds like what you would be...
Do you have a better example?
But all of the nations that have persecuted the Jews are now blocked, pretty much, and the Arabs are in disarray. And I know that you would see it.
Prove that God did that. Whether or not you believe God did that, is irrelevant to whether or not God actually did that.
But the call I'm making is about how would Moses know that the families of the earth... Abraham was a random guy walking around in the desert, and the basis of him being this person that future generations... He wasn't the king of Egypt. He wasn't the pharaoh of Egypt. He wasn't the king of Babylon. He was a random guy walking through the desert, and on the basis of this happening is you've got to leave everything. You've got to leave your inheritance.
Okay. What if you're wrong?
And that's the reason.
Hold on, Danny. What if you're wrong about that?
What if I'm wrong? We've heard that being done the other way around. I don't know what you mean.
What if you're wrong about this thing that happened to Abraham, and what if you're wrong about these facts that you're claiming?
See, here's the thing. You are looking at a story written well after all of the events and interpreting it as if it was an actual literal narrative that Moses actually did this or said this, that even existed, that Abraham existed, that these things happened. And you're also excluding the post hoc explanation, which is, of all the people that might have been told, you will be the foundation of the future. This is one, the only reason we're paying attention to is because that religion is the one that won out and became the foundation to that. The other religions go away and you never hear about them, and you don't hear about how many predictions there were about those. But you have two problems here. You have two problems here. One, you can't demonstrate that any of this happened, including Moses, Abraham, anything else. All you have is a story after the fact being told by the people who would like for you to believe it. And so now they're writing that Moses prophesied what eventually came to pass.
So, after the fact, one of the earliest, the earliest fragments are 700 BC, so it's a long time before the Holocaust. Couldn't have known that we'd remain few in number 1,000 years ago. We were the same population.
Did you listen to what Matt just said?
No.
Did you listen to what Matt just said?
Yeah,
what did he say?
To my point.
What did he say?
He's essentially saying you're showing an arrow into a tree and showing a circle around it. People, the ones that get ignored, the ones that don't live on, but they actually don't have the prophecies. Nostradamus had orphaning prophecies. You see, look at the other religions. They don't really have these specific, substantial, and the point is oxymoronic prophecies.
No, well, okay. This is now a waste of time, Danny. This is now a complete waste of time. This is now a complete waste of time because not only do I not think that these are oxymoronic, but I actually pointed out that what we're discussing is absolutely predictable according to human nature. That religions are going to struggle. To make a prediction that a particular religion is going to become popular and there will be struggles against it. Goodbye. There's nothing remarkable about this. Let me tell you about prophecy. if you're going to make an appeal to prophecy, first of all, the prophecy needs to be specific. He mentioned the Holocaust. There's nothing specific about the Holocaust. You're taking generalized persecution of the Jews and looking at the Holocaust and saying, look, it fits the pattern, it fits the pattern. Okay, maybe Jews are assholes and they promote this sort of persecution. Maybe it's got nothing to do with the truth of their religion or anything else. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying you could have any one of those explanations and follow it through to that. A prophecy needs to be
See, some people like to say, oh, it was the Jews. And then some people say, oh, it was the African Americans. Because it'll fit the African American story fits the same story. And so they'll try to hijack that one and say, no, the Jews are God's chosen people because, look, they're persecuted, they're taken from their homeland and placed into the hands of their enemies because they failed to listen. And then the African Americans who think they have the original versions of the Bible say, no, we're God's chosen people because we were taken from our homeland and displaced and put into the hands of our enemies. It's like, really? So both of you guys are the chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites and the Hasidic Jews. Both of y'all claiming that this story is particular to you. And it's not.
It needs to be answerable by a single occurrence without interpretation. Saying it can't be something that people are actively working toward. I prophesy that there'll be a woman president in the United States. Okay, that's wholly. I don't know. It would be remarkable since it hasn't happened yet, but it doesn't seem like it's remotely remarkable now. 100 years ago, it might have been a much more remarkable prediction, but that doesn't mean that the person making the prediction knew that this is going to come true. The other thing is, let's say there was a prediction and it was specific. It was like Tyre will be utterly destroyed. Oh, wait, there's a prediction in the Bible that didn't actually come true. So let me pick out something else. A person with this specific name will rise to prominence in a country that has yet to be founded. Oh, wait, that's not very specific either because countries fall down, new countries are raised. But make it as specific as you want. On December 8th, 2019, Matt Dillahunty will give an explanation on the atheist experience against prophecy. Now, if somebody had written down that prediction 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, we'll just go 100 years ago. I wasn't born, the show didn't exist. That's specific and it's answerable by this circumstance. Now you have to say, how is it that somebody made this prediction and it came true? Did this person who made this prediction actually know this? Did they get it right? Was it coincidence? Was this prediction in the public eye so that people knew about this so that they eventually named somebody and, how many Matthew Dillahunties are there? Well, there's at least 2 in Austin, or there were. I know because he got my hate mail for a while. So you have to go through all of those things. And even if you get to the point where it's like, all the specifics of this are so remarkable. I don't know how this person could have made this prediction and it ultimately came true. That's the answer. I don't know. You don't get to just say, therefore, because I can't explain it, there must be a supernatural explanation. And because there's a supernatural explanation, it must be this particular supernatural explanation. Not time machines, not space aliens. It must be my God. This is where you are falling down, Danny, because you see things and you are drawing connections in your mind and you are making an erroneous that these things are remarkable when they're not. The entire history of humanity is one of struggle and disagreement, especially as it pertains to religion. You are cherry-picking this particular religion and then cherry-picking from things that may or may not be prophecy, taking the things that seem to fit and saying, this is just so remarkable, it must be God. Well, let's take that a step further. Where the fuck is your God? Why on earth, if your God exists and he wants people to know he exists, would he make vague prophecies, hide them away, put them in a book, let people work towards them, and then have you, in all of your glorious wisdom, call in to a public access or a community-produced television program as if this were proof of God? Why doesn't your God reveal himself to everybody else? Either there's a God that actually wants people to know he exists, or there's not. And if God wants people to know that he exists, or she exists, or they exist, or whatever, wouldn't it be better to just make that revelation rather than keep hiding away secret messages in books, waiting for somebody like you to come along and connect the dots? Maybe they're just dots. Maybe it's just like when people in antiquity looked up at the sky and saw the stars. They connected dots and created constellations and invented gods to fit those constellations. Your dots are just words in a book. You can't prove these things ever happened. You are engaged in the let me make a constellation god fallacy, which if it doesn't exist, it should.
Woo! Yeah, what he said.
Okay. Next.
I mean, I find it unnerving when the first thing someone makes is a dick joke. You got dick on your brain, son? You ready to come out the closet? It's 2020. The world might end. You might as well get it off your chest and let your family know now. No one can't be disappointed in you. You know, your daddy still love you. I'm pretty sure. But thanks for the compliment, though. Stu said, paint my Willie, I'll send you a picture. And then he tried to say, I'm just joking, nice heart. Wow. Somebody got dick on their brain. Somebody got dick on their mind. Somebody got dick on their brain. I wrote a song about it. Like to hear. Here you go. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Somebody got dick on their mind. It's 2020, you can come out the closet. Somebody got dick on their mind. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Lou, what it do? Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum bum. Now you got dick on your mind. Bum ba da dum bum 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 ba da dum bum bum. Hey, and I'm just trying to get. I don't know. I gotta change the words up now. Damn it. New lyrics. Dun 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 get to get. Dun 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 dun. Wow. Can't concentrate on my new painting. I keep fucking up all my lines. Can't concentrate on my new painting. I keep fucking up all my lines. Dun 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 dun. Don't matter you not that creative. Calm the fuck down, sit back and enjoy the stream. Bum ba da dum bum 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 bum. Dun da da dun 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 dun. I keep fucking up my new painting. Cause I can't draw a line. Alright. Cause I'm losing my mind. Cause I just dropped a dime. Cause I'm never really on time. Bum ba da dum bum 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 bum. Bum 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 ba da dum bum bum. Can't concentrate on my new painting. Can't concentrate on all this anguish. Can't concentrate, I ain't got no patience. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. I have the voice of an angel. 'Cause this is my new. Bum 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 ba da dun dun dun. Oh, it was too high. Bum bum bum. It's too low. I need a Tanner in here. Hello, Tanner. Make tones. Dun 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 dun. That's perfect. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 ba da dum bum bum. How long has this piece taken me so far? Ooh, I've been working on this. This is week 3. I started this like 2 weeks ago. This is my 3rd week. Put a couple hours in here and there. You know, I probably got about 30 hours. 30, maybe about 35 hours. Still ain't done though. Got about another 20 hours to go. Bum 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 ba da dum bum bum. Can't get this motherfucking grade right, some bitch. Can't concentrate on my new painting, 'cause I keep streaming online. Bam 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 bam. Dun dun dun, losing my mind. Somebody help me write this damn song. You know how hard this shit is, man? I can't write the damn song by myself, man. Shit. Oh, this is a commission piece. This piece is already sold. Yeah. Somebody's paying me that dough, that son. Making that moolah, that guap, that fetty, that cheddar, that cheese, that cream, them dollars, them ducats. Dun, 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 dun. Motherfucker just asked me, do I sell my art? I sell this shit all the time. Bum ba da dum bum ba 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 ba. Dun 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 dun. That shit getting old already. Fuck that song, man. Let's come out with a new song. I did like that melody though. One more time, one more time. Bum ba da dum bum ba 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 ba. If I hear Justin Bieber singing my shit, I'm suing that little bitch. Bieber, that's my track, fool. Know you was watching my stream, stealing my shit, son. Royalties. Oh, suck it, suck it. Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. Oh, shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. Y'all don't remember Shucky Ducky. Who remembers Shucky Ducky? What was he famous for? What was he? What did he do? What's the best ones? The best one I've ever done? That's highly opinionated, bro. I think every piece that I just finished is my best piece. Cause all my other pieces took me to get to this piece. All my skills, knowledge, training, perfecting my craft brought me to this painting. So right now, this is a combination of everything I've ever done. So this is the best. And when I'm done with this one, the next one's gonna be the best. We the best. Now, do I have a favorite piece? Maybe. I got a few favorite pieces. That's my favorite, and that's my favorite, and I really like this one. And that's a favorite, and that one's good. That was a good painting. I like that one. Ooh, look at this one. That's my favorite too. That's my most favorite of all favorites though. And this was a good painting. Look at you, check this out. That might be on my favorite list next. Bam 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 ba da da bam bam. Cause I keep looking for a new. Yeah, cause I'm a beast. Might have to take a bathroom break. How long we been in here? 2 hours? Oh, we ain't made 2 hours yet. Might do 2 hours. 2 hours and then game time. What? I do gotta pee. I'll be right back. I'll let y'all look at the pretty face while I ain't in here. All right, I'm back. Pride, what up? What it do? From the first time that I saw your brown eyes, your lips said hello and I said hi. From then I knew you. Let me start. So what I was gonna listen to. Ooh. Nope. Oh yeah.
What is history? First, let's start with store. Okay, take a look at to store something. That which is a household camp, stored food, clothing, other necessities collected. These are the words that are going. We need to focus on. We discuss history. These are the words we need to focus on. Okay. Story. I'm just blowing it up for you. Story. Okay. Now I want you to see this real quick. This right here. Story. A narrative. True or presumed to be true. Relating to important events and celebrity persons or of a more or less important remote past. A historical relation and an anecdote is the thing. It don't have to be true, y'all. It's a story. It don't have to be true. Presumed to be true. It's a story. Okay? Take a look. There's another part. A recital of events that have or alleged to have happened. Alleged to have happened. A series of events that are or might be narrated. That's all a story is. There's no truth in a story. Well, the reason you listen to a story is because you want the meaning of the story. The way ancient Africans used to teach is we used to give stories, and everybody knew the story wasn't true, but what you got out of the story was. Storyteller, one who is accustomed to tell stories or anecdotes in conversation. Tell stories, storyteller. You know, that's what the news is. That's why I bring it up. The news don't say they're telling news anymore. They say we're telling stories. Storyteller, one who is accustomed to telling stories and on conversation, euphemistically, a liar. Come on, y'all. This is the knowledge. This is it. This is the center. This is the foundations of English knowing. Take a look. One whose business it is to recite legendary or romantic stories applied to a writer of stories, okay? Hist. Here's the first part of the word history. Hist, okay, a natural exclamation, more exactly written, enjoining silence, which seems to be suggested by the abrupt stoppage of the syllable by the mute. Really, see here, it's like this. A hist is a silent calling. It's like, psst, psst, psst. That's what a hist is. Look at this. A similar sound made to urge a dog or other animal. A similar sound made like, psst. Look at this, hist the boy, hist the boy. An exclamation used to incite or urge on. Hist, hist. Okay? Look at what hist is. Hist. Okay? To summon with the exclamation hist. To summon in silence or without noise. Hist, hist, hist the boy. Here's history. This was his. I don't have to get into this. I just put it here because when we get into the classroom, we'll talk about our youth are so ingenious that the minute we got history, most of us usually would say that we look at the word when we were young and we say, that's his story. That's your intelligence. That's how fast it is. But I'm backing your intelligence up with real knowledge. You were right. The actual etymology of the story is his story. This is his story. This is his. Okay, then I go all the way down. We're going to read through all of this. It's his, obsolete, a B. Okay, his. This is all the other his, highs. Okay, plural, okay. Them, them. Okay. Now, come over here. History. Okay. Now, I stop here because this is what history is in the book. A narrative. Story. Of past events, tale, story. A learning, this is the Greek, a learning or knowing by inquiry, an account of one's inquiries, narrative, history, from the Greek, knowing, learned, wise man, judge, to know. History means to know. Now, the reason I point that out is because the etymology of the word history has nothing to do with the recording of the past. You see, they jump. This word history, okay, they're just making it this. A relation of incidents, true or imaginary. Look at that. A relation of, this is what history actually is. A relation of incidents. In early use, either true or imaginary. Later on, only of those professedly true. A narrative, a tale or story, okay? Nothing in history is true. When you look at the word history, what you're looking at is hist and ori. Hist, we just saw, is only a calling. Hist the boy, and it's what you give to dogs. Come here, come here. The ori is a suffix that applies to this. The ori means the environment of, or the action of. That's what Ori is. It's a suffix. The action. So you have laboratory, Ori. The Ori is speaking to the labra. Crematory. The Ori is speaking to the cremation. So this suffix Ori is speaking to the hist. So a hist Ori is really only the environment or the representation of somebody calling you, like a dog. That's what history is. Now, go even deeper, and I'm paraphrasing because when we get in the classroom, I'm gonna break this even further down. We didn't even get into philosophy yet. This is just etymology, so that your mind can get prepared for what we are going to get into. This will shock a few people as we go down the line here. This is what history is. It's a silent calling. So you have to ask yourself, what are we being called to? When someone says, this is your history, the first thing you should think of is, okay, you calling me to something. What are you calling me to? The history of African Americans begin with slavery. So African American history, then they start teaching you, you came here 1619, Jamestown, Virginia, on a slave ship. That's history. That ain't true. They just calling you back to slavery. Come on back. Come on. The word history has nothing to do with the recording of the past. Remember that. Let's go on. Historical, historian, a writer or author of history. Stop. Author of history? An author of history? A writer or author of history. One who produces a work of history in the higher sense. Meaning, I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth here. Okay, a historian got to tell the truth. Okay, now, and look at here, I want you to see this too. French, historien, Old French, okay, from Latin, historia, and we're going to look at that too, okay? Now, chronicle of events from, okay, that's the one who relates narratives, storyteller. One who, now what did they say a storyteller was? They said a storyteller is a liar. I just showed you. The storyteller is a liar. Okay, that's the second definition of a storyteller. Look what they say down here. One who relates a narrative or a tale, a storyteller. Okay, they're telling you right up. If you really want to get to the scholarship, we lying. Back to the American Heritage Dictionary. Why? Because here, take a look at the word high. I just go over this. High means hey, greeting. So even if we go, it's a high story. It's a greeting to a lie. Here is histo. This is all the ways in which you can look at this word. Okay, this is all the ways you can look at history. None of them apply to the recording of the past. Histo. Hist. We just saw hist. Here is body tissue. Histogenesis. Greek. Histo. Web. Okay, that's what histo is, or hist. A web. This is more medical terminology. They give you the chemistry, this kind of stuff like that, right? Now, I want you to take a look here. This was the Ori here. We just want of, related, characterized by. That's what Ori means. Of, related to, characterized by. A place or thing used for or connection with. And then there's crematory. Just as an example, Ori, Old French, okay? We just went over that. Ori only means, it only relates to the other word. It's a characterized, it's related to, this kind of thing. And I'll go deeper into this later on. This guy here, I'm not going to discuss him right now, but this is King Osceola. This portrait was made obviously by George Catlin. He was captured at Fort Moultrie in Texas. He was captured, and when they showed this picture, there's a book called The Black Indians. And in this book, Black Indians, he talks about this particular picture. And he says that when they painted this picture of Osceola, they should have painted the 55 African warriors that walked with him. They only show you this picture of a Native American like this. But what they never showed was he always walked with 55 big-lipped, dark-skinned, kinky-haired Africans. Him. They'll never show you that because those are the people they robbed. So you never gonna see his crew. You only gonna see him, his black Indians. Take a look. These are brothers too, by the way. They're brothers. Same mother. Take a look. Look at him. Look at him. At one time, we were the same people. Webster's New Collegiate Dictionary, this is where we get into the word nigger. It's all good. You guys can't see this, yeah?
Yeah.
Got them quarantine streams for you. Quarantine streams for your ass, boy. Y'all stuck in the house? You'll be alright, man. Calm down. Turn on the Trap House show. Art and Education with Painting with the Prince. Get you some of this art and education, boy. Stuck in the house, you be alright. You be alright. Shit ain't that bad. know what I'm saying? Do like Revelation. You can sit there and read the Bible all goddamn day. Drive yourself crazy thinking it's the end of the world again. What do you think about those Bible prophecies now, bro? I still can't get over that dude. He's so funny. You're cute, man. You're so cute, bro. Look at you. Look at you. Worrying your little head off. What, you think you're not going to heaven? Hist the boy. Ori. Hist. Ori. Better get them jewels while you can. Dropping that knowledge. Dropping them big bombs. You ain't never read a dictionary. You don't know what the fuck you be saying. You say the words. You don't know what the words mean, though. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta spell it out. You gotta cast a spell. And they make you take a spelling test. But you don't even know the power of the words because you don't know what the word means. You just know how to spell it. Then IT. Don't use words you can't spell. Expialidocious. I can't even say that shit. Fuck it. Don't use words you can't say. What? Damn, that shit started to look good now. That boy talented. Oh, man, he talented. That boy right there. That boy is something else, that boy. Alright, I'll tighten that up a little bit more tomorrow. Almost done with the shirt. Once we get done with that shirt, start back working on the hair some more. Dr. Sabi. Eat to live. Your food should be your medicine. Dr. Sabi been trying to tell y'all, man, how to eat. How to cure all the diseases is with your diet. I got a terrible diet. I need to listen to what the fuck Dr. CV say. Oh, man. Alright. Oh, shit. Whew. Damn, the sun's still bright. Time is changing. What time is it? I know it's about 5 or 6 o'clock. Alright, let me turn this shit off. Ugh. My homie just sent me a message on Facebook, and I missed it. I tapped the button to video call him by accident. But he just sent me this link that says, so for the past 2 weeks in my state, they've shut down all the liquor stores due to COVID-19. And so I was asking him earlier, because he drinks a little bit too. I was like, bro, where the fuck we get some booze from? He was like, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know where the booze is at. He was like, yo, I got a half a bottle of gin if you want it. I was like, you goddamn right, I'll take a half a bottle of gin right now. So he gave me a half a bottle of gin earlier, and then he just sent me a message saying that Pennsylvania is going to reopen their liquor stores online, but the site is over flooded right now. Like, really? Let me get an order. Motherfuckers flooding to the online site. Say this shit, the servers can't handle the traffic. It's all backed up. Shut it down. Shut it down. Fuck. This is like prohibition all over again. But the beer distributors are still open. You can go get you a beer. But you can't get that bottle of Jose Cuervo. Alright, speakers off, heaters off, laptop is off. Put my phone back on my normal settings. Shit. I try to go to bed early tonight. Oh, I don't know. Last night I stayed up reading that fucking book. I've been like thumbing through a few pages here and there, but like in the last 2 days, I've really been reading that shit. I read like, I don't know, probably about 50 pages yesterday for like an hour or so. That shit getting real good now. Now that shit, the care package, bro, the care package. But now the book is getting to the point where it's so much shit going on. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh goddamn. So that shit like a little page turner. I'm kind of, damn. I just told myself I'm gonna play the game, but actually I might go read that fucking book and just see if I can get through it. All right, guys, look. Quick question too. Nike, Air Force Ones. Everybody got a pair of Air Force Ones, right? Yo, what up, bro? Matter of fact, definitely you too, bro. Let me get your opinion on this shit. If you could get a custom pair of Air Force Ones, what would you get, yo? Cause my homeboy, he want me to customize a pair of sneakers for him, but he tell me he don't care what I put on them. But I'm like, dude, I'm into video games and anime. You fuck around, you gonna get a goddamn pair of Afro Samurai sneakers. Some goddamn Dragon Ball Z Air Force Ones. Fucking with me, talking about do whatever the fuck I want. But he kind of like, he's still like gangster. I'm gangster, but I'm more subdued. You know, I wear slacks. I work in the office. You know, he don't do none of it. He won't conform. This motherfucker. But I don't even know what to do. I've been thinking about, I had these shoes for like 3 weeks now. I still ain't even started on that shit yet. Just trying to think of like, what's some hot ass shit I can put on some sneakers. It's to the point where I just might do like a cool ass color scheme instead of actually trying to design something or put an image on it or a character or something like that. Just make like a hot ass color scheme on that shit. Like, I don't know, like some orange and brown or or some khaki and blue or some shit like that. Or I could do like the Burberry pattern on it. I like those a lot. I like the little Burberry pattern Nikes. Them shits be looking smooth, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of common. I've seen one person in real life have on some custom Burberry Nikes, but online you can see them shits online all the time. What do you mean old school style? I don't know, man. He not in no rush. And I told him, like, I'm working on this project right here anyway. Some Cheerios. Oh, I thought it said Cheers, bro. I'm looking at that shit. I thought that shit said Cheerios. 420 Club? What do you know about that 420? Yo, you know what? It's 420 for the entire month. Some graffiti. Gray, black, and gold. I can see that. I almost was gonna do some GTA sneakers and put motherfucking Franklin on that shit. I thought about some graffiti too. That was one of like my first ideas was like the graffiti, the name of our hometown on the side of that shit. Like have our high school mascot on one shoe, and on the other shoe have our hometown like graffitied on the side. And then I kind of pushed that idea out. I still ain't buy that shit, bro. How much is the Deep State DLC, man? That shit like $19 or something. Damn. Hey, man, Blunt. I swear, bro, I buy that shit if you play that shit with me, bro. I ain't gonna buy that shit and I don't have nobody to play that shit with, man. I go download that shit now. I should do it. This is the fucking third or fourth time you said that shit. And I had all the content for the last one. For this one, I just ain't buy that fucking season pass, yo. But I'll go download that shit now. Whatever it is. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to go downstairs and get on the other PlayStation because it's a new month. Alright, and sometimes it take like a few days for PS Plus to update their fucking free games. So I give it to like the second or the third sometimes before I even check PlayStation Plus, but about to get some new free games. That's how I get all my games now, man. I just utilize PlayStation Plus. I play my little $60 a month, get like 2 free games a month. Most of the time I don't even play them shit. I just download them to my library. But that Titanfall 2, when they gave us that shit for free, I played the hell out of that shit, yo. And now that they gave us that ain't even for PlayStation Plus, but that Battle Royale. Quarantine streams. That's what we about to do. Get in these video games. I didn't stream yesterday because after work, I went to go pick me up some weights. Since all the gyms and shit closed, I wish I could have got some smaller ones. But I got like some 45-pound dumbbells, some 60-pound dumbbells, and I got a pull-up bar and a dip bar. Well, it's like a little setup. It's like a little frame. They got the dip bar, the dip handles, and a pull-up bar on that shit. And then some dumbbells. I need me a bench and a long bar with some plates, yo. Push-ups, that's what I've been doing ever since, bro. Ever since they shut the gym down, I just try to do like 2 sets of 20 in the morning. Get up, pump out 20, brush your teeth, shower, whatever, pump out 20 more. And then that's it, but it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather hit more muscle groups than push-ups. I'd rather be able to do like at least some squats, have some kind of decent enough weights to squat with, even if it ain't nothing but lunges. You know, just hold your dumbbells and do some fucking lunges. That shit keep your legs strong. You can fucking like deadlift with them. Bro, and it's like, I don't know, like I said, I've been trying to keep up with the push-ups, but it don't seem like it's doing enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm so used to going to the gym. I mean, I can try to do like 80 push-ups a day, but I don't want to do all that shit, man. Let me get some heavier weights. You know what I'm saying? Get me some curls, some fucking shoulder press, lay back, get a little bit of bench in there. You know what I'm saying? Some lunges, some crunches. I don't do a lot of different exercises, yo. I do fucking lunges, squats, and calf raises for my legs, and that's about it. Just try to work the major muscle groups. Fucking some bicep and tricep workouts. You can do them shits with dumbbells. I rarely ever work out my forearms and all this shit and grippy, man. Fuck the forearm, you know what I'm saying? That shit'll be alright. Don't work out my neck at all, because they got machines where you can do all this shit, man. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I do my lower back, my core, chest, shoulders, major muscle groups, man. Major muscle groups. Says a 25 times 10, bruh. I ain't got all day for that, man. I try to work out for 45 minutes and get that shit done. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be doing push-ups all day. Goddamn hands start cramping up and shit, your wrist hurting. Yo, that'll be hot. That's something motivational, inspirational, healthy. That has so many good aspects to it, yo. An exercise routine. Yo, we definitely need to try to. Like I say, man, there is a way we can do something together, bro. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna eat for dinner. I actually cooked last night, guys. I took some chicken out. I baked chicken, had a delicious ass salad with chicken on it. Damn, that shit was good. But tonight, I'm gonna have to do some quick hungry man shit. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't had a chicken pot pie in a while. I gotta check the freezer, see if I got some pies in that bitch. But guys, I'm gonna start the stream right back up. I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna download the DLC for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and depending on how long that shit take, me and Blunt Mover might be on that shit. I'll stream that shit live. Some Deep State, and yeah, thanks for chilling in the studio with me. We're making a lot of progress on this commission piece, which I feel is coming along magnificently. Still working on some of the folds and creases in the shirt, so we'll focus on this section a little bit more tomorrow. Hopefully after I finish that section, we can move back into the hair section and start pulling more details in the hair. Like I said, I just wanted to get the shirt to look nice, because a lot of the hair has to fall on top of the shirt. So do what's underneath first, then do what's on top. It just makes it easier for you. So yeah, this piece is, damn, this shit look good, bro. When I be painting shit like this good, I be hating to send this shit off, yo. Like, this ain't mine. I can't keep this. Damn it, man. Shit belong to somebody else. Appreciate y'all chilling in the studio. We got 2 hours. Boom, 2 hour after work stream. Like I say, I'm about to just kind of veg out, cook me a chicken pot pie, play some video games, and catch y'all downstairs. Peace. Oh, thanks, bro. That shit looking hot, son. That shit hot, son. The artiste.